Yes, everybody, after 2 weeks, we are gathering on Friday, and from today again, please pay big serious attention. These chapters what we are going to discuss now is not the same like what we discussed up to now. It's really the start of the correct accounting journey of somebody. Up to now what we learned was very basic. Now only we are going to try to understand how an accounting implicates or reflects in a company accounts. So that's exactly what we are going to understand and learn from this chapter onwards. So here,
Page number 326. 326. 326.
introduction to company accounts. Now so far, see, according to ACCA syllabus or forget syllabus, there are, when you talk about types of business, we have sole trader, we have partnership, and we have limited liability companies. When it comes to ACCA syllabus, they don't teach you partnership. Partnership is not in the syllabus. Even CIMA or any UK exam, they simply remove accounting for partnership. But when you move to next subject, law, in the next level, they will test you the necessary legal implication of the partnership law. But partnership accounting is not in our syllabus. So I just want to make that very clear. So up to now we learned sole trader business. So what's a normal characteristic of a sole trader business is my car, my petrol. And I like to, today morning I will open the shop at 8 o'clock, yes I will open the shop at 8 o'clock, I will close at 12, no problem. Tomorrow I feel lazy, I don't come to shop, I wait at home, sleep, come at 2 p.m, no problem. So there is no one to come and question me, what the hell are you doing? That's a common style of a sole trader business. And there are certain specific characters that a limited liability business has, which a sole trader business is not having. So we just try to learn them before we think of talking about accounting part of limited liability company. So first point that I would like to discuss here, characteristics, or sometimes you can also call it nature. First one, and a very important one, limited liability. Now when you, let's say for example, you take a sole trader business. A sole trader business, total assets of the sole trader business, let's say 200. Total liability, let's say 300. So now asset is more or liability is more? Liability is more. By how much? 100. A time when we need to close the business, we need to shut down the business fully. Could we shut down without settling them? We have to pay them, right? But will the business has enough money or resources to pay this 100? No. But what the nature of the business? Sole trader. In a sole trader, any such liability, this we call it actually net liability. This liability of the business in a sole trader business. Now, this 100 came because he did some personal work related to his personal life, or is it because of the business that he did? It's because of the business, nothing to do with his personal life. It's not about buying stationery for children or paying school fees to children. No, it's about doing a day in and day out of business, end up having this much liability. Even then, if it's a sole trader business, then this guy has to settle in full. Settle in full, despite the business does not have enough funds. Then you may ask the question, how this guy can settle? But he has to do is, he has to go back to his personal means. He has to go back to his personal means and then accumulate, find out, collect, receive any such funds or resources and then come and settle. With even selling white jewelry or a personal motor vehicle or selling the house or anything. You still have to settle this. You have no choice of telling, oh sorry my friend, I don't have funds, so please, forgive me. No, you can't do that. So this is one of the main nature of a sole trader business. Whereas, if the same situation arises for a limited liability company, how that will reflect? Let's try to understand that. Now, if it's in the limited liability company, in a limited liability company, initially they issue shares. Let's say the share capital or the capital of the sole trader is $100,000. How many owners? Only one owner. Here, to gather this 100,000, one of the primary principle is that you open the door for every Tom, Dick and Harry on the road to be an owner of the company. So, what they will do is, the company what they will do, they will split this 100,000 into several pieces of shares. If you think it's like a cake, it's only one single cake, but here what happens is that one single cake they make it into pieces. And they sell each piece. Now, suppose if they divide this into 10,000 pieces, can you tell me how much is one piece? One piece is how much? 10. $10. Isn't it? So if I am a shareholder, or if I want to become a shareholder, and if I want to buy one share, how much I should pay? $10. That's clear. So first step is that the share, for you to become a shareholder, you need to buy shares, each share costing you $10. Fine. Now, when you, let's say this limited liability company is a factory that you want to manufacture soft drinks. So it's a factory that you want to manufacture soft drinks. So, you first of all, before you to have the factory, you need land. Today I decide, okay, factory. I will make one factory. Tomorrow morning you will have a beautiful factory with you? No. There are so many steps before you really can you do the production, you have to do it. You may have to get legal permissions. You may have to get a CR. You may have to get articles of association, Balajiya license, computer card, blah blah blah. Plus, you need a place. You have to talk to government, get a land. Then there are so many approvals, Monakasa, that and this, all these approvals will come. Then after cleaning all this, then you develop a plan. Then you make a plan, then based on the plan you get some engineers and then tell them to build the factory first. The factory may take another 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years time. After completing that, then you import machines. So what I try to say is that this is not an overnight process. This will take several time periods. So when you need total of $100,000, are you going to collect entire $100,000 on the very first day of your business? You really don't need to do this. So suppose in this example, how many shareholders you have? We have 10,000 shareholders, and each shareholder need to pay me $10 in total. So what you will do is that you will split this $10 into even smaller portions. So this $10 you will split into let's say 4 portions. $2, $3, again $2, again $3. First, when I need to become a shareholder, I have to submit an application to this prospective company. Then I have to pay some money for the application fees, maybe this. After I submit the application, the company goes through everything, documents, everything is fine, the company is happy to take me as part of the shareholder. Then they inform me that okay, we are confirming you becoming a shareholder, so please pay another installment. Second installment comes. Actually, this you call it application fee. And once they confirm you that you are part of our company, there's a process called allotment. It's like in those days, not now. Those days, there is a register of company. There is a share register. Every single shareholder sends a application. One guy sitting in his office, give you the book, he will write 1, 2, 3, name Mohammed Qasim, and then age, ID number, and the amount of shares, how much is the money, like that, he will register. Once the company decides to allot, he will become an official shareholder. At this point of time, he is still not a shareholder. But once you complete this process, then he becomes shareholder. How much he paid? $5. How much in total we need to pay? $10, isn't it? Now let's say after that, now we have how many shareholders in total? 10,000. What is the application fee? $2. So 10,000 into $2, how much? 20,000. With this 20,000, they have done some of their work. For example, purchase the land. Example. And then get some government permission. Now 20,000 finished. Now I need another 30,000. So you send an information by SMS, by email, by phone call, please pay the next fees. That's $3. So you will then pay how much? Total 30,000 will come. Then you put up the factory. Then you need to import machine. Then you need the next money. You will ask for another $2. So when you ask the next $2, you will pay for it. Now total how much we paid? $8. But if I want to become a complete shareholder, how much do I have to pay? Another $2, isn't it?
According to that, it's 7 and 3.
When it was, I'm sorry, 7. Yeah, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So 7 and then another $3. Now think the situation. After all this, company is facing a trouble. Company cannot continue. Company now needs to close the business. At this point of time, there's a court, let's say there's a court case, and the company needed to pay some fines to the court. So the total assets the company has 70,000. fine of you need to pay a fine of 100 and let's say 30,000. How much the fine I have to pay? 130. How much money I have? 70. So how much more money I need? 60, right?
60.
I need 60. Now, how much more I can collect from the shareholder? No. Oh yeah, 30. Only 30,000 I can collect. So this is the balance money that the shareholder obliged to pay. What the story that I am trying to say, although your total liability is 60,000, if you are a shareholder of a limited liability company, not like a sole trader. In a sole trader business, this entire 60,000 you need to settle. But here the shareholder will say, my friend, I cannot pay anything more. I have to pay only the balance $3. Here, take it, cover. So my liability is limited to the unpaid amount of the total value of the shares. That's what the first concept or the character or the nature of a limited liability fund. Liability is limited to the extent of non-paid portion of the share price. So this is we need to note it down.
Partnership maximum partners 2 to 20.
Yeah, 20 and then so many stories are there.
But here in shareholders, now as per this example, it's 10,000.
There are types of limited liability companies. If it's a private limited company, the maximum shareholders can be 50. If it's a listed public or public company, maximum shareholders can be any number. Qatar Airways is a limited public listed company, PLC. Normal company we have is WLL with limited liability. That with limited liability only I am talking about. In UK we don't say with limited liability, we say limited private limited company. But in Middle East, we say that WLL with limited liability. Zal, Mim, Sa. What is say in Arabic? Full. That exactly that's what we try to say. The liability of that company is limited to the extent of unpaid portion of the share price of that company. So, limited liability is unpaid portion of the share price. Now, think about a scenario like this. A creditor, a supplier. Supplier goes to a limited liability company. And in monthly, every 30 days you pay. They give PD checks, every time it goes on. Now, the creditor will not understand exactly what the business affairs of this business. That's not his problem. You make an order, supplier sends you money, goods, you pay them. But in between, the company is struggling now. Your business affairs are very bad. You don't have good cash flow. So you cannot pay. Then your payment is pattern is declining. And one day you stop. Then we say that the shareholders, they don't need to pay. And what will happen to the creditors? If it's a sole trader, the creditor can still go and hold the shirt of the owner, and then he has to go home, borrow or get the jewelry from his wife, and then come and pay cars. But here no. Here you have a boundary where the creditor cannot go beyond this boundary. Then what is the protection the share creditor has? When I say the word, when I use the word creditor, that includes supplier, loan given by bank, or lease provided by a finance company, everyone. So they have a legal protection from the courts. These creditors are more than welcome by the courts to resolve the problem. So if a creditor has a concern that his dues are not going to be collected, then the creditor can easily go to court. But if the same creditor for the sole trader go to court will not entertain. Court will say that my friend, you look after yourself personally. But if it's a limited liability company, court will treat that creditor with highest respect. That's the protection that the creditor has. So anyway, this is the first characteristics which we say limited liability. Number 2. Perpetual succession. Do you know what the meaning of this, or you don't? You know? Yes or no? Right. Do you know?
So it doesn't end.
Please try to get the meaning from the word.
The business will run for the entire objective for the long period.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
We will mention something in financial statement we talked about before. Ongoing
Going
concern.
concern.
So, see here what the story here. Let's say 3 shareholders, A, B, C. They form the company XYZ Private Limited. After 6 months, Mr. A passed away. Now, do you need to close the company? You don't need to close the company. Regardless of shareholders' changes due to death or leaving the country or a new shareholder walks into the business, despite changes in the shareholder presence, the company still will continue unless voluntary or mandatory liquidation takes place. What I trying to say, the company's existence. Now, if it's a sole trader, Sulaiman Traders, when Sulaiman have an oil shop, he is selling coconut oils. Then suddenly he was doing the business, mashallah, good for 10 years. In the 11th year, he passed away. He don't have kids, he don't have relatives or anybody. Then can the business run? No. Perhaps you have to close, and then whatever remaining inside, the people around him will take it. But limited liability company story is not like that. Legally, business will continue, although changes to the shareholders. So that's what the perpetual succession means. Despite changes in shareholders, the company will continue for a longer period of time unless voluntary or mandatory Understood or not, you guys?
This first time I hear this translate to Arabic, but very difficult. First time for me to hear the خلافة دائما. What's meaning?
That's what I'm saying, brother. Let's say three of us open a company. Baha,
Three
Ashika, and
people?
Yasser. Yeah, we three of us open a company on Salon. Mashallah, business is doing. Suddenly, Sri Lanka, the economic condition become better. I decide to go to Sri Lanka. I say, my friend, I can't do any more from here. I'm going. Question is, do you need to close the business? You may have to settle the shareholder, but you don't need to close the business. But if you have a sole trader or a partnership, then you have to fully legally close the business. Here, no change, no requirement to go to MOCI. You don't need to go to MOCI. You just have to personally settle this guy. Okay, yalla, masalam. But the business can continue without any interference. Yes.
In partnership.
Yes.
No, but for understanding, I am asking. In partnership, same thing. We have three partners.
Yes.
One guy goes. Why we
Then
have
you
to
can close it. Legally, the partnership will become closed.
That is what I mean.
Yes. The partnership agreement will become terminated. There's a Partnership Act 1890 Section 2. I deliberately don't want to talk about it because it's another 10-15 minutes of time. That speaks about this. When partners, this you call it dissolving the partnership business. So how do you dissolve it? A death of a partner, partner goes out of the country, a new partner comes in, the father and his two friends are doing the business. They have in the partnership agreement. Now, this father brings his elder son to the business. Then they put him into the partnership agreement. Means, Kalas, our wife, maaf. First agreement closed. But it is not the case in the limited liability. You cannot bring your son or daughter as a shareholder as you like. Clear? So this is the second nature of a limited liability company. Third nature, an interesting one.
What's this?
Veil of incorporation. Forget the second two words, only the first word, veil. I believe every one of us has at least gone to a marriage house, wedding house. I don't know about Egyptian culture, but in Sri Lankan culture, in a wedding house, the girl, bridegroom, girl, groom, right? She wears white color veil. Same thing in Egypt, in a wedding house.
For
Woman. Not this niqab. In Sri Lanka, niqab is not very obligatory. It's optional. But in a wedding house, what happens is, I will try to show you. Maybe it has. Something like that. That but what will happen is she will cover the face.
Okay.
So this in English we call it veil. Why they do this?
Protection.
What do you think? What's the protection? It's transparent. So it's not Islamic thing. It's not to allow someone stranger not to see the girl. No, it's not that. But then why? Actually, I have a very weird reason, maybe not true, not to allow the bees and that and this to come and attack the face.
Makeup or something.
In other words, to cover up a certain area for outsider not to penetrate. That's the purpose of having a veil. This also, in the night time when you sleep, you put this net, no?
Mosquito.
But in Middle East, I have I don't see kata. Is it there?
I use
That but
yes.
these
Numbers.
yes, mosquitoes. So the same story. So in our company also we have a nature, a character called way of incorporation. Meaning the business activities of a limited liability company, any Tom, Dick and Harry who's on the road has no right to come and check. They cannot have peep their nose into the business affairs of a limited liability company. Whereas if it's a sole trader or partnership, there's no legal condition. Anyone can come and check, find out, and all this. Only legally allowed people can have access to the financial affairs, so business affairs of a limited liability. That's what the meaning of veil of incorporation. It's like ozone. You know ozone, right? O3. Oxygen is O2, Habibi. O3. O3 is, let me see here. I believe my spelling is correct. This one. This is the verb, but we have layer. If any bad rays that is coming, this layer will. That's also same story. In company we have veil of incorporation. This veil will protect outsiders not to peep into our company. Clear? So that is another. Artificial personality. We all are natural personality. Human being. Have life, we eat, we talk, we walk, we grow. One day we die. Artificial personality is almost the same. Some nature, like natural personality, they may occur, but yet you consider them as an individual. Let's say Muhammad Ashik Khan is a shareholder of a company. That means a company and Muhammad Ashik Khan are two individuals. So whatever the business activities of A doesn't have any impact on Mr. A. Like for example, it has a legal case. So Mr. A as a shareholder, remember, as a shareholder, Mr. A will not go to court, so police. Who will go? Directors will go. Not the shareholder, but the directors will be in trouble. We will talk later about that. File usually doing this. Yeah, you can tell him, but he won't.
And the opposite of shareholders?
Yeah, shareholders are same like shareholders. For example, this company has a, let's say, as a fine against environmental ministry. Some pollution or something. They dump some waste on the road. So the environmental ministry came and then they fined 2 million riyals you have to pay. Company doesn't have money. Then they say that okay, now we will go to courts. Now somebody need to go to attend the case in the courts. That somebody is not shareholder. Is the poor director who is an employee who paid a salary to work for the company. That's this one. So later we talk about that. Clear? So here what we say that a limited liability company is considered an artificial individual, artificial person, and all business affairs are dealt with the company and not with so these are the four main nature of any limited liability company. Fine. Yes.
Did we study in the past, at least one of the shareholders should be director?
If
In
it's
the
a
limited liability,
there's no, it's not compulsion. It's not compulsion, but it's encouraged. It's not compulsion, but it's encouraged.
Is there
See,
any-
in the old times, the shareholder himself will become the director. But after the development of this corporate governance and the fiduciary duties of the shareholder and the agency principle concepts all developed, then we arrange a situation where you keep a complete distance between the shareholder and the directors. But one or two shareholders could play the role of the director as well. Could. I will not say must.
is there any rule especially for the country like in Qatar? Is there something at least a shareholder?
And in Qatar, when you form a company, when you open up the commercial registration, that shareholder automatically will become director. You have the option to go and say that I am only the shareholder, these are the. No one does this. It's an automatic thing. In Sri Lanka also same. But no one knows what are the rules in that. So they don't question. That's the story. Anyway, now, how to form a company? In forming a company, we need to document, we need to follow I believe the latest one is 2015 or 2019. One of the two. I'm not pretty sure which one of them. So the act year, the latest, it keeps on revising. So the 2015 or 2019 will be the latest year in which the company is actually governed in forming a company.